pregnancy in Rh negative. Okay, so with this, the important thing is, wait, just okay. So let's start with it. So pregnancy in Rh negative mothers. So first of all, let's talk about the Green Top guideline, which has been archived and has been replaced by the BCHS guideline, but the tables are the same, so you can revise from the tables easily. And then we will also talk about what is mentioned in 10 teachers and the old literature and the ACOG guidelines. So first, let's talk about the RCOG. Because for IMM, you need to know the both. Okay. So in all the pregnant women at booking, what do you need to do with respect to this topic? Can anyone please answer? Yes. You need to do the ABO blood typing, the RH typing, and the antibody screen. Okay. The first thing that I want you guys to know that NTK, NTK antibody is a cross. It's the most dangerous. We have C, D, and K that we're going to talk about. So whenever NTK becomes positive, you have to directly refer the patient to fetal medicine unit. You don't need to, monitor by titers. The titers don't matter. This is the only antibody for which the titers are matter. You have to directly refer because it's so dangerous. Even small amount can cause severe hemolytic disease of newborn. So what you need to do is that they will monitor by weekly Doppler. Okay, so this is very important that for I've written this at one place that NTK once positive, regardless of the levels, refer to the fetal medicine unit and then follow by the middle cerebral artery PSV, not by titers. Okay, do not follow this antibody by titers. Okay, follow this by Doppler directly. So it's a very important point which you guys should know. The different point. Then we have for C and D. Okay, so the titers are negative. You repeat titers at 28 weeks, you repeat it, and then this is it. But let's say they're positive, then you find out their value. Okay, so for NTD, if the value is either less than 4, it's 4 to 15 or more than 15. So you have to memorize this. For C, it is 7.5 less, sorry, for C, it is less than 7.5, 7.5 to 20, and then it is more than 20. Okay, so these are the values of the levels. So for this is the first, second, and third. This is mild for both of them. I'm sorry guys, you really have to memorize these values. This is moderate, and more than 15 and more than 20, this is severe. Okay, so these are the values, and then we're going to follow the antibody titers according to these values. Okay, let me just repeat this. Okay, so let's talk about the NTD first. Okay, the commonest one, right? So when let's say the value has become positive, positive means it's not zero. Okay, this is how important a single value is. Okay, because if it's zero, if it's totally negative, only then you have to repeat it at 28 weeks, and that's it. But if it's positive, then you have to quantify it. Okay, you have to quantify it, and you have to quantify either it's going to be less than 4. Less than 4 means that the risk for hemolytic disease of fetus and newborn is very mild. So you're simply going to repeat it 4 weekly, which means that monthly you have to repeat the levels, and then after 28 weeks you have to repeat the levels 2 weekly, which means that fortnightly you have to repeat the levels, okay, until delivery. And at any point, if the levels become greater than 4, then it will leave the category of mild hemolytic disease and it will enter the category of moderate or severe. So at any point, if the levels become more than 4, you have to take a different course. So what is that? So the levels more than 4 are either going to be 4 to 15 or more than 15. Okay, simple. It's very simple, students. So 4 to 15 is carrying a risk of moderate hemolytic disease of newborn, and more than 15 is carrying a risk of severe hemolytic disease of newborn. In both these cases, you should look at we have two options. The first one is either to look at the genotype of the father. Why? Why? Because the father is definitely positive. That's why we are having this. Either this one or the last one was positive. So by this you can find out whether he is heterogeneous positive or whether he is homogeneous positive. If he is homogeneous positive, then this means that all the pregnancies are going to be at risk. And if he's heterogeneous positive, then you need to find out this baby's genotype. Are you getting it? If the father is for example, the father is homogeneous positive, which means that positive positive, so there's no negative genotype, right? So this means that there's 100% risk that the let's draw the table for your ease, okay? So this is the father's blood group is positive positive and the mother is negative negative. So every child is going to be positive negative positive negative. You get it, guys? You get it? So there's going to be a heterozygous state for all the babies. So all the babies are going to be at risk. But if the father is heterozygous, then in this case, there's a chance of the baby being 100%, being, 50-50% chance. Okay. So in this case, when the father's genotype is heterozygous, then you can go for the cell free fetal DNA, determine the baby's genotype and whether the baby's Rh positive or negative. And for that, you can do the self-free DNA at 16 weeks. But for NTK, which is the villain of the story, is NTK is the villain of the story. I told you guys, for that you have to do self-free fetal DNA at 20 weeks because all things are bad for NTK. So they're not detected in the self-free fetal DNA done at 16 weeks. You need a self-free fetal DNA at later weeks. Okay. So now, yeah, or you can just simply directly do self-repeated DNA if you have a lot of funds. This is also an option of directly doing self-repeated DNA. Okay. So the next very important thing in this case is that once you have found out all of this, you are going to refer the patient to the fetal medicine unit where they are going to follow the patient by weekly mirror cerebral artery Doppler. Okay. And then if at any point it's greater than 1.5 mmom, then they're going to go for intrauterine transfusion. Let's now study about the other NTC antibody. The algorithm is the same, it's just that the values are different. So I'm telling the whole algorithm all over again so that you can easily memorize it. Okay. So for NTC, if I talk about the NTC, the values are going to be what are the values? 7 point less than 7.5 was mild, so you're simply going to follow it for weekly. Please recall it with me. It's the same, the values are different, the algorithm is same, 4 weekly until 28 weeks, and then after 28 weeks it was going to be 2 weekly until delivery. But at any point if the values become more than 7.5, then you enter a different algorithm. And what is this? What is it? If it's 7.5 to 20 or it's more than 20, this is going to carry a moderate risk and this is going to carry a high risk. So what are you going to do for both of these? Again, you have the option of going for the directly for self-repeated DNA baby, or going out finding out the father's genotype and then acting upon it. And then you have to refer to the fetal medicine unit where they're going to do a weekly or twice weekly Doppler and to determine that. So it's very, very simple. Okay, it's very easy. You have to deliver by 36 weeks in these cases. Okay, because after 36 weeks, the MC Doppler's effectivity to detect anemia is very low. Now let's talk about the conservative, the old literature. What were the conventional, not the conservative literature? What were they saying? They basically talk in titers. It's 1:4. So there is a value of a critical titer. What is that? Can anyone tell me? What is the critical titer? That beyond that you have to do proper strict monitoring. It is 1:16. It's the threshold. Whenever this is for NTD, guys, this is different. This is a different topic. This is from the ACOG and the 10 teachers. Okay, that was from the RCOG. So it's less than 1:16. It has not reached critical. You are in this range, then you have to keep on repeating it. Let's say weekly titers. Okay, you will lie in the zone 1. But once it reaches this threshold, now you have to follow by MCA. You have to do it weekly. Okay. And then on this, if the MCA PSV becomes more than 1.5 mods on median, then in that case, what you're going to do is you're going to do chordosynthesis. Yes, very invasive. So this chordosynthesis is going to be repeated 2 weekly. Okay, so if this chordosynthesis gives you a hematocrit, so it's, I know it's complex, but you should know this. Okay, for IMM, it's less if it reaches the threshold of 1 to 16, we're going to go for MCA. And if MC is greater than 1.5 mods on median, then still you're not going to do IUT according to this. Then you're going to go to find out the hematocrit of the baby to find out the degree of anemia. If the hematocrit is less than 30, how are you going to do hematocrit? Via chordosynthesis. So if the hematocrit is less than 30, then in this case, what are you going to do is that you are simply going to go for intrauterine transfusion. Otherwise, I'm going to go on repeating it 1 to 2 weekly. Okay, let me show you the algorithm where I have written it. Okay, it's a very good writing over here. Yeah, this is also my writing. I can write well, guys. So titers are less than 1:16. The critical titer is not reached. It's 1:4. You have to repeat the titer weekly. If crosses the threshold of 1:16, we have to do weekly MCA PSV more than 1.5 chordosynthesis via the percutaneous umbilical cord sampling, fetal hematocrit less than 30% IUT, weekly every 2 to 3 weeks. And you're trying to take the pregnancy to at least 34 weeks in this case, guys, okay? So 1:32 IUT, fetal medicine unit, and 1:64 top. Very important. This is zone 4. So we have zone 1, this is zone 1, zone 2, and this is zone 3, and this is zone 4. Okay, so every titer is a zone. This is very, very simple. I know it's for you guys need to memorize this, watch it again so that you know the values and how we're going to act upon it. And please do the tables that are given in the RCOG guideline, which are now archived, but the new document is available. Okay, please go to the website and do those tables. Thank you very much. It's an easy guideline. You should just know the values as 7 to I have 4 to 15 for NTD and 7.5 and 20 for NTC. And can someone tell me the values for NTK? Can someone tell me yes, there are no values. You cannot follow it by titer. It's so dangerous. You have to follow it by the umbilical, by the middle cerebral, not the umbilical, but the middle cerebral artery Doppler. Thank you, guys. Study hard. Stay blessed.